Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Well, do you think it's time to trim this parrot's beak? But this is just typical parrot's beak. And I've said in other videos that I don't really worry about not having my trees in perfect show quality 365 days a year, because that's just too hard. But this guy is definitely due for a trimming. And I love parrot's beak because they develop so quickly, but they also present a challenge because of how wild and rangy they grow in between trimmings. So I've got this tree where other plants are around it here, so it didn't really grow hardly at all over there because it was being inhibited by the other plants. And this cutback is just I don't want to say mindless, but we're just taking off all the young growth without really looking at the design, because the design is pretty much set on this tree anyway. And come spring I plan to do a series of videos on how to get trees ready to show. And I don't show my trees like in exhibits and stuff because I don't know, it's come a little closer now that we've trimmed it up. Bring the camera down a little bit. So like I said, this is the very first Premna. Oh, it's too early in the morning. This is the very first parrot's beak that I ever purchased. So this is the parent of all the other cuttings I've done. Although, I took cuttings from this tree, and then once those cuttings grow, then you can begin to take cuttings from those trees. So it's not like the cuttings I just took from this tree, they just went into the yard trash. I've got all the parrot's beak I need. But it's a nice tree. And just that one simple 5 minutes, even less, of trimming off all that excess growth, and boom, it's back to being nice and dense. It's got good motion, decent taper. I love the hollow trunk. And I'm going to restyle it in the spring because we've got two bar branches right here. I'm going to keep this as the first main branch, and then if you look here, there's also two different apices that I need to choose from, and I'm thinking of choosing this thinner one right here. And so then the next main branch will come out about here. So that will completely change the way this tree looks. And it's very root bound. If you can see, it's just one gigantic mass of roots. So it will be very happy with a root pruning and a restyling. So it's already the end of August, just about. So I'm already looking towards spring. So most of my videos that I've done, the past 2 or 3 videos I've talked about, in the spring I'm going to do a root prune. In the spring I'm going to do a root prune. So man, I'm going to be awful busy in the spring. And since I live in Zone 10 in the US, spring is about the middle of January to, well, and it depends on the tree. Parrot's beak are very tropical, so they need to be root pruned a little bit later in the year. You don't need to root prune them in the middle of winter. How much time have I got left? I got time. I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to go get him. And one of the oldest ones I have, not as old as this obviously, but I'll show you him too. So here's another parrot beak, just as overgrown as the one I just showed you. And so it really just needs the same treatment. And once I'm done cutting off all the excess growth, it will be back in the frame of the camera. So here's a perfect example of stuff that must come off because it's cutting against the grain. And then we have some smaller growth right here. And the apex has also gone crazy. And a little bit of a back branch and boom, we're there. I've got some growth here that we just don't need. Remember, you want to have your branches, very few branches, space in between. And I actually wired that guy into place and he needs to be wired down a little more. So I basically styled this tree from scratch. So it's looking pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Still young, but it's getting there. And so that's it for this one. We've also got, yeah, maybe I'll leave that as a sacrifice branch. There's a tiny little guy here that why not, right? So this tree has been mostly clip and grow. As you can see, just one piece of wire on this branch to bring it more horizontal. And it's a slanting trunk, but it has a kind of an interesting movement up in the apex, which I like. And it's beginning to flow nicely when you look at it. It has nice flow, so I like that. So there's two parrot's beak allowed to grow way out, although that's just the way. But just give a little cut back, just like this. Right back into 4. Parrot's beak is a very tropical. So if you're up north, you want to grow parrot's beak. You're going to need some wintertime from cold. They love the heat and humidity of summer. So that's it for this video. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's starting to rain. I think I need to just say goodbye. I don't want my camera to get. So I'll see you in the next video. It's raining.